Hey y'all, welcome back to Mrs. Lynn's Cooking. Today we're going to make a fruit blossom pastry. So what we're going to need is, I don't know if I'm going to do one or two, but I've got two of them just in case, of the puff pastry. I have some apple pie filling that I had left over. Then I also had some cherry pie filling left over. And then we're just going to need one egg. And let me get this laid out and we'll be right back. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay out our puff pastry, which I've done. And you're going to take either a knife or a pizza cutter, and we're going to make into long, thin strips. And I'm going to try to cut this evenly the best I can, but I'm not the best at doing this, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to cut these into our long, thin strips. Right, like that. And I've already got my oven preset to 400 degrees. So make sure that you do your oven, go ahead and get it preheated to 400 degrees. Then we're going to take this, set this over to the side, just like so. And then I'm going to take, and I'm going to use my Baker's Joy that I have. If you don't have it, use oil and a little bit of flour. So whichever you have. And I'm going to spray this down really well because we don't want it to stick. So I'm going to get this sprayed. I may have it a little heavy, but I would rather it be heavy than not. Now, I'm going to set this over to the side. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our little, or it's almost a medium size cookie tin is what I have. And then I'm going to take my strips and I'm going to pull them off one at a time. Now, I've never done this, so we're just going to kind of experiment with it a little bit. And I'm going to try to do the twisting before I do the rest of it. Because if you hold it out and try to twist it, it's going to end up making a mess. Okay, so I'm going to take this. We're just going to kind of twist it around the best way you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Because what we're going to do is once we get it in there, we're going to kind of seal it in the bottom here so that when you put your filling in, it's not going to leak through. Okay, I had the cameraman help me twist these up because I'm not the best at it. So we've twisted them, and I'm going to try this again. So just bear with me. And what we're doing is we're trying to twist it and go up and over. Like I said, I'm just not the best at this. It's going to end up looking like a rope, but it's supposed to look like a flower, but it looks like a rope. So I'm going to let the cameraman come in here, and he's going to finish twisting these up for me since he does a better job than I do, as you can tell.
Hi, everybody.
Buddy, this is my son, Chris. So he's going to help me twist these things together so they look a little bit more uniform like a flower, and that's what they're supposed to look like.
You set it, once you got one end done, you just set it in the middle and run it around a spiral, kind of like a cinnamon roll. Just like that.
And then number two. And then, like I said, I'm going to do two of these instead of one because I'm going to do one with apple pie filling, and then the other one's going to be with a cherry pie filling.
And it's also sometimes best to make sure that this dough stays cold.
Yes.
When you do it, because the warmer it gets, the harder it gets to work with. This one won't fight me.
There we go. And then just
place
them on there. Okay, now we've got these rolled up into our little rosettes, I guess you could call them. So I'm going to take and place them over here on this. Now, next, what I'm going to do is we're going to start off with our apple pie filling. I've got quite a bit of it, and if you have some that's left over, you can also can it and make sure that, you know, just put it in an airtight container. So we're just going to pile up our little bit of apple pie filling on here. It's like so. It's going to be a little messy, and so, but that's fine because as long as it eats good, that's all that matters. So we've got 4 of our little apple pie filling here. Now I'm going to take And I'm going to do the same thing with the cherry pie filling. Okay. We're just going to do that. Get some cherries in there because I want to make sure it has cherries and the filling. So let's just do this. I might have to put just a little bit more on that one. There we go. And then, like I said, I've already preheated my oven to 400 degrees. So once we get the cherry filling on there, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this on over to my oven and pop it in the oven for about, I'm going to say maybe 10, 15 minutes, just until your pie comes out nice, or your crust comes out nice and golden brown. And then what I'm going to do is I've got one egg that I just beat it up, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to brush on the outer edges of this to put a little bit of an egg wash on it, and that'll help brown it up a little bit more as well. So let's get these in here. And this doesn't take very long. It's just trying to get the things rolled up. And then I'm going to be honest with you. I can cook. I know I can cook. I just can't decorate worth a hoot. And I'll be the first one to explain that to you. So, and that's fine. So, and sometimes I know we all try to do something that makes everything look perfect. So if you're having somebody come over for dinner or hosting something, then you'll know that you need to try to make it look a little bit more pleasing. That way they'll like, wow, that looks really good, and it's really simple. And that's what we like to do. So got those done. Now we're going to work on our cherry on here. So just bear with me while I get these brushed on there nice and even. And then get this taken care of. Okay. And so let's see, we get this almost done. Just a little bit more over here. But like I said, the oven's already preheated to 400 degrees. So that's what you want it on. And make sure you keep an eye on it. So when these things start to puff up and start to turn golden brown, you want to go ahead and pull them on out of the oven. Okay, so I'm going to take these over to my oven. And as soon as they come out, we'll be right back. Okay, our pastries are out. It cooked about 15 minutes. So at this point, I'm going to take them and I'm going to transfer these over to a cooling rack so that we can eat them, but we don't want to get burnt just yet. So we need to let them cool a little bit before we do anything else. But they turned out really nice. And at this point, you can either make a glaze like a powdered sugar milk with a little bit of vanilla and make a glaze to put over them. You can leave them plain, or you can either just take and sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar on it. That's pretty much all you've got to do, but just let them cool off a little bit before we try to pick it up and eat it. Okay, I did have one on here. My husband got a hold of it, so we're going to try this again without him in here. So I've just taken some powdered sugar, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of the powdered sugar over the top of it. I need a smaller one of these. And then let's take a bite and see how this turned out. It's still hot. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. If you like my recipe, please like and subscribe.